Welcome to the RPG Podcast.
And we are live.
Oh, God, Patton!
Presented by SHEATH. A Time Wheel production.
Stevie, Wiley, Samadhi, Dicey Drop Sets coming in on the ones and twos.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's a pleasure to be here on the RPG Podcast. This is definitely one of the coolest podcasts I've ever seen. The variety of guests on here keeps it exciting and entertaining, and it is a pleasure just to be back and to chop it up with you, see what's going on in your world.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for coming back. You've been one of my most returning guests. And it's because we have a decent rapport. We like to joke around and talk shit, have fun. So I like that. You used to do comedy.
Mm-hmm. I did. That was kind of like the start of my creative escapades.
But you still kind of do it, through Sheath and stuff like that, through like skits. So I feel like that kind of training and experience helped you be the kind of the star of our social media platforms today, right? Or no? Because
that's a huge honor. I mean, like to say that, to say like I'm the star of Sheath. I'm not going to take full credit, but I feel like each year that passes, like it gets a little better as far as the comedy, the underwear itself, and the reach that we're generating. It's awesome because something I noted was Mike Adelic's episode with you. He stated, I love comedy so much, but I hated the bar scene, staying out super late, eating shitty food, and like his health was degenerating. And I can really agree with that. Like I was right there, like seeing that, if I continued that. So I was doing comedy for about 5 years straight, open mics and doing little local shows around San Antonio. Not really getting success though, but it was definitely enjoyable and it was fun and it's thrilling, getting on stage and just talking to strangers and making them laugh. Sometimes it doesn't work. It feels terrible. It's like a very dark place. You're just like, my whole night's ruined, and it'll put you down for a little bit. But yeah, you're right. That kind of transitioned over to me, like doing skits for Sheath and kind of just honing my comedy in my own way. It's not stand-up, obviously, but I feel like I'm able to just be myself fully. So that's a huge blessing. And I mean, we take it one day at a time. We just did that skit recently, the Ocean's 11 skit.
Yeah, that was funny. I just watched it.
Shout out Renee Sanchez. Matt Zian was in there as well with us in the shot. And then Joshua Munoz filmed the skit. Really talented videographer.
I think we're gonna release that, and that's fun. It almost makes me want to do more of those. And also just to point out, you don't have to be on stage to be funny and a comedian, and you're always making us laugh and sort of lifting our spirits. I was saying that yesterday through the texts because you got positive energy, and laughter is the best medicine for life. And you're always laughing and making other people laugh, and you don't have to be on stage to do that. But doing those skits, I think, is a fun alternative nonetheless.
Absolutely. And like you kind of are similar in that way because you got to try stand up at least a few times. You got on stage. And
it started getting embarrassing towards the end, but I started off with a bang, and then every set after got worse and worse until I was just a degenerate and trying to do things to make people laugh that were just very like beneath me, or like
the most ridiculous shit. You're just pulling out of it. It's like not even yourself anymore. And I like the comedy that you do now. You usually will like do like these different voices, kind of how I will. As far as like the political commentary, like when you're I've heard you do the Trump before, like everything's good, everything's great. And it's like you go on those little rants and stuff, So I like that. I really enjoy that about you, because from the outside, you know, someone's like, oh my God, he's the CEO of SHEATH. He's a veteran. He must be so serious, you know, like all these
Yes.
things, like as if you're not a human, like you don't enjoy laughing. You don't enjoy, you know, doing the meditations in the park, like all these things that make you more gentle, but hone your strength. I was talking to Matt Zian earlier about that basic concept of when you become stronger, like you do become a little more gentle, a little more reserved. You know, you don't have to be showing off, you don't have to be competing, you know, you're just trying to get stronger each day.
On all different kind of levels, mentally, physically, you're looking like you're blowing, like ballooning, kind of, you know, you're just like
That sounds really bad in the context.
well, like
your stomach's blowing up.
not your stomach, not your stomach,
I know.
but like your arms and your shoulder,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's kind of like they dropped you in some water and you're just like expanding, you know, like one of those.
You put me in the
bad
cosmic
analogy.
soup, dude.
You're doing something right. And I was talking to Matt also earlier and talking about these workouts that you're sending me, that I called them like Olympic level workouts. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's much further like difficulty than I would typically put myself through, like 4 sets of this with a superset in between, you know, and then another 4 sets times 15 of this, so the superset, and then another one, and then you're like and then you think you're done, and then there's like another one, and you're just like, okay. I like it though. I'm noticing gains myself in my physique, you know. I'm not like weighing myself or
No, I can tell your shoulders are getting so much bigger. Like you've always had bigger shoulders, like a big chest.
yeah,
But I feel like you're really, really getting into that fine tuning with the strength gains, and like your back's getting really big, and then your core is super strong. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's a big thing that I'm noticing. I'm trying to be less focused on the aesthetics right now and take the strength gains week by week, because I know once it's closer to my show time, I'm doing a show August 21st for Men's Physique. My first show I mentioned on the last podcast. I'm doing a show in December. I thought I was ready. I was not ready, you know, so I'd rather take more time to prepare for the show and keep putting on strength. And then when it's time to tune it up, I can increase the cardio, I can decrease the calories and do all those other things. But for now, it's just awesome to share the workouts that I'm doing from my coach, BZ Physique. Shout out BZ. He just went pro last year in classic physique. He was right alongside Callum Von Moger. And a lot of people were saying that BZ was better than Callum. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a huge thing, because this guy was like, he did a movie, you know, impersonating Arnold. He has a great physique, but I think BZ's just bringing something different. You know what I mean? He looked better aesthetically. His proportions, his legs were better. And so I'm taking the workouts and the meal plan that he's giving me, and I'm just honestly giving it right back to you, because it's like, I know you are really serious about going into the gym. You did the army thing, so you're way less phased. You know what I mean? You're like, no, I'm going to push through.
Well, and I can't run anymore, so I like this as an alternative. It pushes me. I get a high from it. I get like fucked up, you know. And like I was telling you, I was intertwining Wim Hof. So every rep, I'm like, and then there's another like 15 breaths, and I'll do those, then I'll exhale, inhale, squeeze, and then I'm like blast off mode. I don't know what, like it kicks it to another level. Plus, I probably took a hit of some herb, and and then just but in general, the Wim Hof works. But like sometimes it blasts harder. Like I feel like I have some reserves. Like if I haven't done it in a few days. Yeah.
No, for real. Like your body will respond better to like the increased intensity, because you prepared yourself with the mobility, with the breathing and the meditation. You're just, it's like this workload is not what it is, you know what I mean? Like if you just started out cold, you know, you're like twice as prepared by doing these certain things. And
exactly,
I appreciate you for being like such a huge supporter of Wim Hof breath. A lot of people are catching on to it. I'd say millions of people honestly do it every single day. At this point, it's undeniably a game changer for your fitness, no matter what you're doing, whether you're a marathon runner or you're a farmer. You're on your feet all day long. It's going to push you to that next level.
Yeah, but you said a word a minute ago that struck me, and love Wim Hof. Please come on the show. Mobility, though, because
Yes.
what's happening now is I'm all tight. I've been working out, I'm breathing, I'm meditating, but I'm stretching, but I'm only doing like 15 minutes a day at best. And I'm just like sore and tight. And I heard you took a mobility session with Sammy.
Yeah. So I did a mobility session with Sammy Sandoval of Your Fitness 365. He's also a coach at Submission Concepts. It's the MMA gym about 4 doors down from 365. He's a really great guy. He's on it certified in mobility with the steel mace and the kettlebell. And the mobility, the fundamentals of mobility, I believe is the course. But he showed me that Thursday morning. He does Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 9:30 a.m. Instagram live stream, and it's similar to what we do every other Sunday on the Sheath Underwear Facebook page, and most recently on our Instagram page. But man, I'll tell you, like the 20 minutes that I was shadowing him in the live stream on the mats, my whole body just unlocked, man. Did some wonders, just flowing. You know what I mean? It wasn't the most complicated movements, but my hips feeling decompressed, my shoulders feeling relaxed, my spine being very loose, like able to bend over and be supported. And then just my legs being able to totally chill out, man. That was huge, because the training, as we've been talking about, is just more and more intense, pushing yourself, getting out of your comfort zone. So that's such a huge blessing. And as of recently, so I did go there to shadow him, and they're very interested in adding yoga to the live stream. So he wants me to come on Monday and Wednesdays, 9 to 9:30 a.m. So I'll be doing similar stuff like we do on the Sheath page, meditation, breath work, stretching, and just overall getting into that flow state. So it's a really huge opportunity for me, and I'm very, very grateful. So shout out to Sammy. Thank you so much, brother.
Yes. Shout out to Sammy. Is it anything like, Qigong or yoga, or what is it like?
Honestly, yeah, it was like a hybrid, because you showed us the Qigong and the Tai Chi, where it's like very slow movements. It's like a dance. You're very grounded. You're very connected. So it was like that, but it was also cool to be able to get onto the floor. We were doing one movement where you would basically drop down with one hand on the mat, and then the crossing leg, you are kicking like diagonally. You know what I mean? You're kind of doing this like little swivel movement. And I'm pretty sure you've done it before. I don't know the name of the movement, but just being able to like kick one leg out while, the other leg is on the floor and the other hand is there stationary was just, oh my God, like my back and my hips got such a sweet stretch. And I think part of it too was the sciatic nerve, which connects, the spine to the legs. Having that area healthy is really, really critical for anybody. So I think I'll be doing it, man, every Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be joining in.
This podcast is brought to you in part by ohanakavabar.com. Now, Ohana means family. But what is kava? Kava is a root from the South Pacific. It makes you calm and happy. Just go to ohanakavabar.com. Choose your favorite brew. They have many to choose from, with more on the way. And I personally like the tincture. It tastes good. It gets you quick, and you're calm and relaxed in a moment. It cools and calms the nerves. Some call it an herbal Xanax. I think it's quite fine, and I think you'll like it. Let them know we sent you. Support this podcast by supporting our sponsors, and support this company. It's run by a fine gentleman who worked in the nursing profession for 15 years before he finally was able to break away from the chains of, the 9 to 5 and start his own company. He takes pride. He loves it. He drinks it every day. I love it. I use it all the time. And I think you will too. So go to ohanakababar.com, use promo code SHEATH. You're going to love it. Doesn't taste that great, but chase it with a nice pineapple. You will not be disappointed. Trust me on that. ohanakababar.com. Ohana's family. Use promo code SHEATH. You're welcome. Our next ad is for another plant medicine, if you will. It's called Kratom, and you can get it at soapcorner.com. SOAP corner with a K.com. Go to soapcorner.com. Use promo code SHEATH. And of course, last but not least, sheathunderwear.com. The greatest underwear on the planet. The underwear of legends. The underwear that keeps your balls from sticking to your legs. That's right. This is the best underwear because it keeps your boys cool. Check out sheathunderwear.com. Back to the show. Have you tried that So Right thing?
What is that?
It's a device that you lay on that impresses on your psoas muscle. I guess that's totally different than your sciatic nerve.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, okay. The right there in the abdomen area, the psoas.
Yeah.
Yes, that's such a strange name because it's like PSOSAS, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, okay, it's not psoas, so it's just psoas. Yeah, that area too. If it's tight, it's a very, very bad situation. So are you? What is the actual thing to stretch it though, or to loosen it? I'm not sure.
It looks like a horseshoe or U, shaped device, but it has a base, so the U faces up, and then it's rounded, so it's not like too pointy, but you just kind of lay, and the 2 points hit right in between your hips.
Oh wow!
And you lay on your stomach face down, I think, or the other way around. I'm not even sure how to use it. I should probably watch a YouTube video. But I saw them last night. Sheath sponsored this LFA, Legacy Fighting Alliance, which is a subsidiary of the UFC. We sponsored the event. Cool. And it was awesome. I didn't know exactly to what extent our brand would be shown, but it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was literally on the outside of the ring. I was like, this is
outside,
really
inside, right on the floor. The announcer mentioned us. He was like, and this part of the broadcast is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. The underwear that supports fighters all around the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. So I really want to, but So Right had sponsored the one right before, this event, LFA 97. This was LFA 98. Mm-hmm. So it's just like we call it the minor leagues, the UFC, and building talent. And we also sponsor the main event. I don't know where, my point is, So Right is it's this little plastic device. They're $80. So
they're one of the co-sponsors.
Yeah, and but it's a huge company. They sponsor Joe Rogan and the biggest podcasts, and they're everywhere. And it made me feel like we were in a league with them.
Absolutely, man. That's where the next batch of amazing fighters is going to come from. Yeah, it's not always the case where they just go. It's a superstar level, it's like they have to beat a certain amount of opponents, and build up their reputation. So that's amazing that they get to be supported along the way, like what's better than an underwear sponsor? I mean, honestly,
it is pretty cool.
It's freaking amazing. Cool. To go on that, I have been working with Sheath full time since May of last year with customer service, creative directing, just overall sales. And it's just been an amazing ride. I guess I wanted to jump back to the psoas thing because that's such a big deal. Even Robert Oberst, the fourth strongest man in the world, mentioned that area being of very high importance, like keeping it
Mm-hmm.
loose, keeping it in check. And so I was going to ask you, I know you have the So Right to help that, which is, or you haven't used it yet, but have
No,
you
I've
been
been
using your
using it.
massage gun in that area? Like, how's that been? Because I know you have that
No.
amazing massage gun. That thing is A1.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah, because I've tried the So Right, and I'm not that impressed. I don't really.
Oh, you have used
Well,
it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had it for like 6 or 8 months or
Oh,
longer.
wow.
I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, or I need to watch a YouTube video. So that's why I was asking you about it. And all in all, it's just my whole body's like super tight, and I need to stretch it out. So I think after this, I'm gonna do some like Tai Chi or yoga, Qigong, maybe some more yoga, and maybe use the So Right, because those workouts, like even and days after, I'm pretty sore, and I'm a little older than you guys, but so I don't do, and I only work out like 2 or 3 times a week.
I'd say
as
that's really
far
good
as
for the amount of activity you do,
yeah.
and like your goals are different from my goals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I try to make the workout, custom to what's going on with you. Like, where are you sore? Where are you really feeling like we need to, work on getting strength?
Mm-hmm.
Just all those little factors, man, like preventing injuries, proper recovery. But I mean, I was curious, have you used the massage gun on the psoas, or is it
No, I don't
kind
think
of just on
so.
the legs, or what's
Yeah, I
your
usually
main
use it
thing?
on my calves and
Okay.
my legs. But yeah, so I'll have to try it there, and maybe that'll unlock some things. But also, I was thinking about, so you get to work out from BZ.
His biggest thing, and I'm so thankful. We've been I hired him right at the beginning of the year because I knew we would work well together. He's just a very friendly person, very knowledgeable, and funny enough, he went to the same high school as my cousin and my cousins, excuse me, and my neighbor I grew up with down the street. They were both on the basketball team, so he's a few years younger than me. But it's just funny that he comes from such a close place, like he's born and raised in San Antonio, I believe.
I know, that's
Um,
crazy.
but okay, so the workouts that he's giving me are all about like foundational movement strength. And at first I really wanted to be resistant about it. To be honest with you, 2 years ago, I would pop into the gym and think that doing 3 sets of 8 reps, maybe like for 2 exercises, each body part was enough. But
Yeah.
I'm like realizing, oh my God, like I was just barely maintaining the muscle that I
Yeah.
had. So I'm seeing the strength gains by doing movements like flat dumbbell bench press, incline Smith machine bench press, and I'm hitting like 4 sets of 10 reps.
Or 15. You're sending me like 4 sets of 15. Anyways, continue.
Oh no,
Sorry.
you're good. As far as like the foundational moves to like
Okay.
gain overall strength.
Uh-huh.
But certain moves, yeah, he'll have me do crazy stuff. Like he'll have me do 4 sets of 12 to 15, sometimes 5 sets. Like for my pull day, for example, I start out by doing 6 sets of wide grip pull-ups to failure. So that is an ass kicker right there. That's another foundational move to get stronger on. But there's other stuff. As we mentioned, the supersets are really serious. If you don't know what a superset is, it's basically where you do one exercise and less than 10 seconds later, you're already jumping into a totally different exercise. So it's normally like 10 reps of each thing. Something that's really been killing me is at the end of my push day, I finished with dips and push-ups. So it's like dips, superset, push-ups for 3 sets. So I'm going all out until I'm just dead, So I've already been pushing all those other exercises. So just doing stuff like that is really building the muscle up, the hypertrophy. That's where the muscle is getting larger. And of course, you can train really hard, but if you're not eating enough, I wanted to transition to this. If you're not eating enough, you are just literally not going to gain the muscle. Like you are not going to get to that next level. So I did want to mention as well, you can look up workouts all day long online and everything, but I think it's great to hire a coach who can also make you a meal plan for the foods that you are going to enjoy and that you'll grow with. You know what I mean? You don't want to eat foods and you're having a terrible reaction. You're feeling bloated. You're feeling lethargic. You want it to just be for recovery and also make it enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like, why are you going to force yourself to eat just such a strict list of foods one week and it's like, oh my God, I'm so miserable. So that's been something that I'm trying to work on, is modifying that. But I've been eating 4 meals a day and also a protein shake right after my workout. So that is absolutely making me stronger and grow muscle.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what Beezy was saying. Something like, if you're ever hungry, you're doing it wrong, was one thing I remember him saying. I'm eating about 2 meals a day with a couple protein shakes at either at night or in the morning. So I could probably eat a little bit more. I should weigh myself. But one thing is interesting. Like, I was there, every time I come to San Antonio, we do a little workout or a big workout. And, I was like, it would be nice if you were here so that I could work out with you more. And, you talked about sending me some workouts, and I just didn't think I would do it if you just sent it to me. I was like, you're going to have to watch me. I need you to sit there and watch me, because I won't do it.
Right.
But it turns out that I do it. I like to write it out, though, so that I can cross it off instead of just looking at it on my phone. I know a lot of...
I love that, though. The old school way with the journal and the pencil.
Yeah.
That is so fucking awesome, bro. Honestly, keep doing that, because it is satisfying. Like, we have something, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like this feel-good receptor goes off when we are scratching off tasks and like goals, It just fires, like the serotonin just goes crazy, and when you are in that flow state.
Out in that too, I mean, it is a thing where I'm supplementing running because for whatever reason my Achilles is shot. I think it was that marathon we ran. I still think that's... Anyways. But I can do all the exercises for whatever reason. I just can't run on it. It's that repetitive thing. But
yeah, don't run if it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Maybe
so I use my
walking thing. Oh, you have the pen. What's it called again?
It's called an arc, but it's arc. Yeah, and I was just on there. It's basically like an elliptical machine. It's an industrial size, like Gold's Gym level machine. It's pretty sweet. But
how long do you get on there usually? What's the
20 or 30 minutes?
Routine?
Yeah, just like 20 or 30 minutes. And I try to put it on the highest stepping
like the
level.
highest resistance or the incline.
Like it's a high steps, because you can do kind of short, kind of whatever steps or high steps, not necessarily the resistance, but just the steps, and like as if the steep steps or something. But
yeah, like you're definitely you're actually hiking up a hill.
Yeah, and that's for the glutes, I guess, is what you would say.
Oh yeah, everything really. You're stepping, hamstrings, quads are getting lit up, calves.
Yeah, and so that doesn't hurt me at all. So I try. It's just not quite. I used to love to run. You know how it is. You run.
Yes, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Is like I've had to modify my approach to cardio to gain this strength, to gain the size, and to just totally get into the approach of like a men's physique competitor, what they would do. Honestly, like I'm really learning at each week. I'm 29 weeks away from the show, but I'm trying to treat it as if it's next month. Like I'm just putting myself in that headspace. So BZ said you're only going to do 5 days of cardio, and it's 20-minute walk each time on the treadmill. And I did that for the first honestly almost 4 weeks, and I finally was just like, dude, like I'm getting so bored with it, to be honest with you. Like I've run thousands of miles. Like I think honestly I've run over 12,000 miles since I was 14 years old. Like I really wish I had journaled it, but I'm not bullshitting you guys. I've run so damn much and I love it. I get the high off of it. There's just nothing like it. But I understand how it's not going to contribute to this awesome muscle growth. So we came to a new plan. It's 1 day of running for 20 minutes and 4 walking days for 20 minutes each. So that's working so much better, man. Like I knocked out a run yesterday, 2.5 miles. It satisfied the craving.
Yeah.
The craving, like honestly, it's like this this like longing to just get out there and feel the breeze, like get the sun, you know, a sun bath, and just smell the fresh air and everything. So I did that, and I reported back to him. It's funny saying reported back like he's my I gotta report back to my physique boss. But he was like, yeah, man, like he's very understanding. There's certain things that he will modify too from his coach. You know, he says just do what is best for you. And of course, it's awesome that he's aware of like following your intuition. He's not a yogi or by any means, but I'm sure he does meditate. He does value the importance of mobility. So I love that he's not destroying me like, oh, you got to lift this amount of weight or anything. He is just giving me a nice game plan to get stronger and learn more about myself. Ultimately, you know, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people can do it on their own, but they get to a certain point where they just tap out. You know what I mean? Like they can't get further unless they get that higher insight. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. I wish more people would take, take advantage of mentorship, and I myself can use more in the form of like executive training from professional level. But
yeah, it's like imagine you talking to like a 60-year-old person, right?
Yeah,
you're about 40. You're like 42.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's say 62, right? That is like the like an appropriate gap, you know, like they got like that 20 years of wisdom on you, and maybe you know you only learn a handful of things, you know, and you don't go into it hiring them as like a consultant and expecting all these things, but you can definitely learn something.
Well, they, like you said, they always push you further than you would typically push yourself. And I was modifying some of my workouts. I didn't until like the last one or two, which was just a repeat of something you had sent me, but it was like one of those ones I was saying at the beginning, and I got like 80% done, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But I also pay attention to my HRV, my heart rate variability. I don't know if you're familiar with anything to do with that.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
But like if you have if you wake up with a low HRV, typically you want to do a more light day. From my understanding, high HRV means, get after it. And I typically follow that. And it's very apparent, like,
no, you're on point, because I recently for Christmas, my girlfriend Selena got me a Fitbit, and I haven't been against the whole Apple Watch, Fitbit, whatever, but I'm like, oh man, I've just been so stubborn. Like this thing is really helping me to better understand these, like the biohacking, like what's my resting heart rate, like what's going to be my peak heart rate. So finding that good balance, you know what I mean? And I love that they include meditations within the Fitbit app. I've been using that. Me and Matt Zian have been meditating. I think this is our 42nd day. 42nd day of meditation, usually ranging from like 10 to 15 minutes or so. But as of recently, what's been helping me, because I know a lot of different techniques to relax and everything with the breath, but these mindful eating meditations have been honestly a game changer for me, where it's like aware of what you're eating, like slow down, like less stimuli, like just taste the food, enjoy the food, just be totally present, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, expanding my mental will, I guess, if you will. If you will what you will
what you will, if you will. Yes. I have a strong will. I think you have a strong will. Some people don't have a strong will. I was talking with Matt earlier, and like some people are, I would say, meant to do bigger things, or just built with that kind of mentality, and some are kind of more reserved and are just going to kind of do what is normal and typical, and what just not really go above and beyond or think too much outside the box to push themselves. And that's okay. because not everyone gets to be the CEO or the top bodybuilder or the UFC champion of the world. You know, like some people are behind the scenes, and I feel like they're even built that way and they're happy that way, and you shouldn't force your kind of ideology on being, you know, this astronaut or something, you know, some kind of super outrageous goal when they're cool being a bartender or
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah,
you know.
exactly. Like, why are
Yeah,
we can't push our standards onto other people. That
yeah.
is toxic, you know what I mean? That's not
Hmm.
gonna help anything. But I think like another kind of principle that I wanted to go over was like your wealth is a reflection of your daily habits and your health. So I think you don't have to be the superstar or whatever, but own yourself, like own your life and make it fun. Like don't be miserable. Like
Hmm.
there's no room for crying in the corner, you know what I mean? Letting
Mm-mm.
life go by. Like that's where I say like I get like fired up. Like I'm not gonna associate myself with people that are doing that. We all fall down, but we
Yeah,
have the tools to build each other up, you know?
yeah, and it's like the long game, and like you said, that your wealth is a residual of your health or your habits, and um, you know, of course, you're going to fall down, but is it every day? I mean, are you constantly having problems, or is it like every now and then? But you know, like we all would have some problems because over the course of time, as long as you're consistently showing up and putting forth effort at your profession, then you'll get, you know, rich and
You will,
enough
yeah.
and in your
It
own
might take
way.
it might
And
take a while, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, and I'm 42, and you know, and I'm not even like rich, but we're getting there. And you know, I was thinking about my brother, my older brother, and he's been working since, you know, early 20s at like really good jobs, like Boeing kind of.
Mhm.
He worked at some Dell computers and some other, you know, big corporate gigs, and he's probably got $1 million in his 401k or more. And you know, they're doing their thing. It's a different lifestyle. He works, you know, kind of like at a cubicle type thing. Probably has to show up and report to someone, and he has quarterly reviews or, you know,
Right.
counselings to see how he's doing in that whole game. And I used to do that, and I don't know if you've ever done that, but
Oh, I've no, I
you
mean,
know,
yeah, it's different lifestyles, man. Like I think they're as cheesy as it sounds. Like we just have to work jobs.
yeah, at
We
some point in our
literally
lives
just really
also.
just like at some point to gain that perspective of how precious our free time is,
Uh-huh.
because like we can do work that is enjoyable. We can make
Yeah.
that a choice. You know what I mean? Um,
How is that? How
I
is that?
almost got into it, man. Like you know,
Talk to me.
sorry to go off, but again, like starting Sheath full time in May, I've been working part time since the beginning,
Yeah.
super part time, and maybe part
Yeah.
time, etc. I was working this solar job from home where I would just help schedule the appointments. So it was like all these different states and just talking to random people, going through a little checklist. And oh my God, dude, I was just feeling myself getting zapped. Like,
Your soul's crushing or
yeah.
something.
And they're like, okay, you're gonna. So we did, it was like a 3 month thing. I remember it was the morning shift. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm working from home. You know, it's pretty straightforward. It's not complicated getting a check. And
Right.
then towards the end of like the little 3 month, whatever probationary period, they told me, they go, okay, you're gonna work Monday through Friday, 1 to 10 p.m. And I was just like, oh, hell no.
Right.
That is not going to
Prime
work.
time. Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
You want to take my
And
life away?
yeah, 1 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
During
that? That's awful.
right. No, and I know that was like a tipping point of you coming on to
Oh
Sheath,
my
like,
God.
and I'm glad that you came on, and they, you know, whoever would have gotten you, it would have benefited. Although you weren't passionate about that. I feel like you're passionate about what you're doing with Sheath, and it shows. And you know, I heard you took on some more responsibilities without even being asked and stuff. I was like, I like this. I like that. And that's going to pay off in the long run, because as we grow, it's just, we have such a small team, and if it's a, we're gonna
I want
share
to
the wealth.
I want to help make the best underwear company in the world, because it's so much more than just the underwear. It's creating these like awesome communities,
Yeah,
like the fight community, the
yoga,
yoga community,
meditation, we get to act,
entertainment,
and it's all these creative outlets that we're so blessed to be able to have. Like, I'll think of something, I'll, oh, we should do this, and we can all get excited about it and then go do it and then put it out and people like it. Matt's done that, you've done that, we all. I just had a flashback of the jackfruit commercial. I mean, we're having fun,
Jackfruit's up with samurai swords in the store, baby. You know how it is. Because I like what's cool too is for SHEATH, we have a weekly meeting Monday morning, 10 a.m. and it's like a good 2-hour open discussion.
Yeah.
And everybody gets to talk. It's positive energy. We get to go over, as of recently, the chapter that we read in Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That is an amazing book by Napoleon Hill. And it's showing me so much. I'm about to finish the 5th chapter. Yeah, the 5th chapter now. And one of the chapters, I think it was the 3rd, was going over clearing the cobwebs of your consciousness. And that was profound to me, because a lot of the times, like, I am a very positive person, but I can get very, very just stubborn, or just like let the dust settle, let the cobwebs build up. And I'm like not productive. I'm not moving forward. I'm stale. I'm kind of just going through the motions.
I get like triggered, like, and I used to hate that word, but then like what is snowflakes getting triggered or whatever, that had like a negative connotation. But there are things that will come up where I am immediately taken out of the present moment, and it's like a movie reel starts going off in my head, and I'm here, but it's also these thoughts of whatever negative like experience or his like, for instance, this is personal, but I was 12 and I went to my girlfriend's birthday party with my best friend, and shout out Greg and Jody.
Hey.
Jody broke up with me that night at the party, and like they ended up going out together. So I have the thought of that happening again.
Heartache.
Well, yeah, but the thought of that happening again, is always there. It's never not there. And that, and so like I can get jealous. And if the idea of, my wife with an ex-boyfriend or something comes up, it's weird. So I'm getting super personal, but it like,
oh, dude,
puts me in a weird mental state.
A lot of guys get in those weird states, man. And it's like normally like 99% of the time they're not jealous, but they can just get thrown off.
Yeah.
And it's like a short-lived thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it goes away. And thankfully, thank God, I'm like, okay, this has happened so many times before. Like, time just, you start thinking about other shit, but right now all I can do is think of that one thing for the next 10 minutes, or hopefully not too much longer.
You're like, that's gonna happen now, and then this other thing's gonna happen because of that, and then you're just like this big fucking smoke storm in your head,
Yeah.
What
the cloud, the cobwebs.
Like cloudy fucking cobweb county in my head, when it should be like cosmic fucking gems, glowing.
Clarity, diamonds, purity.
Should have some DMT visions, not jealous visions, Come on.
Yeah, and if I could circumvent or reconnect, reprogram that part of my brain, that would be helpful. I know
so exactly. No, you said reprogram. I love that.
Yeah.
And we battled on chess.com yesterday, 2 matches, and that's that mental fitness thing. And I think that's a strategy. If you started getting the smoke storm bullshit going on, go to your chess, man, and lock in there. I feel like that helped me so much. I wasn't going through the same issue, but I did kind of get distracted yesterday Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I gotta go run, blah, 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 do this and this. And oh man, I gotta go help my bro. Like all these little things are coming up. And then it was like, let's play some chess real quick. And I'm like, oh, yep. By the end of it, it was like decompressed. Like my brain got a workout, you know, it's not
There
thinking
is
about other garbage.
I literally heard a study that if you've gone through a traumatic experience, to go and like play Tetris or chess or one of those pop Sugar Crush or shit games, something about that whole eye movement and concentration or whatever you're doing helps process trauma. And so my point is that that's a very good suggestion, and I we're on the same page.
Mental, like we talked about the physical quite a bit, but
Yeah,
I would say the biggest part is like the fact that we are a mind with a body. So let's get the mind built up and the physical will follow. And I love that you've always kind of shared that too, like that the esoteric knowledge. It's really not at this point not too esoteric anymore, like making things right in the mind and like the outward will follow suit. And I love that you showed us the whole team the concept of the vision board years ago, and I just did one recently. And
yeah.
I swear to you, I'm already seeing like things coming in and like being manifested, and they're small things.
Cheese,
But I'm feeling it, man.
grilled cheeses.
I have a big old grilled cheese, guys, on my vision board.
That's funny.
But hey, like if it makes me happy and it makes me fulfilled, I had to put it on the vision board. So
Oh yeah, because it's a combination of vision, in my opinion, what you want to occur, and goals, as well as like beauty and art and something just subconscious.
Yeah, like one of the things is like we all make art in our own way. Is I was seeing the SHEATH team having like 2 drones, like big drones to film different events. Like I think that would be freaking awesome.
I've been wanting that forever, and now is the time where these things are more affordable, and so the sky's the limit. I want to get more production level stuff. I want to, every time I come down from now on or whatever, I want to do another little skit or movie, because that was
every time, man.
Fun. Yeah.
I feel like there's like that energy that happens right when everybody links up.
Exactly. And that's what is cool about our team. We have an interesting team that's been together for quite a while now, and they say don't hire friends and family, but there's always exceptions.
I think that's garbage, man. I think that's if you're a shitty person.
Yeah.
If you're a shitty person and don't want to help your friends, like there's one thing for it not to work out, but to just be like,
as a rule,
there could be an enemy in the future.
Right.
There's going to be a problem guaranteed, and then there's no more friendship. It's just like, oh my God. Man.
I was thinking of Nicholas Greeter. Shout out. Because I still follow politics. It's kind of, like I don't watch the news too much, but I'm a libertarian. I'll put it out there. So I'm in the middle. So don't hate me, but you need to pick a side. Just worry about you. I'll worry about me. That's my viewpoint.
Honestly.
And we sponsor
Dave Smith. That's right.
Oh,
Dave
right.
Smith.
Yeah. And Ron Paul, he was the person that kind of inspired Dave Smith, and I just remember Nick was a big like Ron Paul kind of fan. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that, because they would have those long discussions at night about philosophies, and I just it made me think of him, and he was working with us, and then it didn't work out, but we're still friends. But he's he's doing his thing.
Getting back on his fitness grind, adjusting to the whole COVID bullshit. I know that he was a lot more reserved, because his dad was a little more susceptible to getting sick. So that has been a bummer, not being able to hang out with him as much. But I did talk to him a couple weeks ago, and he was starting to do the running again. He was starting to do like his daily push-ups and plank and everything. So shout out Nick. That's my Raptor, our fellow Raptor brother. We would always say we're the Raptors whenever we would get into that running flow. Like you're just gliding across the the jungle.
Yeah, and you have those your arms like kind of tucked in a way, and your little things are.
I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Give me like 49 seconds or so.
Got you. So there's that, and so ohanakababar.com, promo code SHEATH10, save you 10%.
Texas Crazy.
What up?
I was saying shout out Texas Crazy Water. That's my favorite water I was sipping on. Does the body good.
Yeah.
Fluids going.
Yeah, I got to drink that water. That was one of the realizations I had on one of my most recent psychedelic journeys. Shout out Mycadelic, and was just, being optimal and doing all of the things that were, just like required or whatever to be optimal, like for a car. Make sure it has all of the fluids. Fucking drink water, dude. Like, right?
And honestly,
drink water, breathe, maybe take some fish oils, get all your vitamins and stuff. I take this Athletic Greens, which is pretty sweet because
I've heard of that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat as much of like a green salad like I used to when I was there.
You'd rather drink it, right?
It's easier, and you know how when you buy, I don't know if this happens to you, but a lot of people, you buy a lot of vegetables and then they sit in your fridge and then they rot.
That is, oh my God, man. That is honestly like the battle with living with my brother in our apartment. One day I was like, what in the fuck is this smell? I was like getting upset, man, because I know one of my worst habits is I'm normally like meticulous about cleaning, but sometimes I'll let the dishes pile up. And I did all of the dishes, bro. Like I knocked everything out. I was spraying down the counters, sweeping, and I kept smelling this terrible rotten smell. I was like fucking going crazy, bro. And finally I looked over to like this little produce holder that we have in the corner of the kitchen counter, and it was freaking rotting onion and garlic that has just been sitting there for days, bro. I had to deep clean that whole area. Like, yeah. So just, God, the food waste is
I mean, and it's a weird thing though. Like, and now I order my stuff online for the most part, and it's delivered, by grocery delivery. And so I'll order an apple, and I'll order a thing, like one thing. So, and then I threw the apple out into the yard earlier because I didn't eat it, and it's like, why don't you eat it? Well, I'm saving it for later, and then later comes and then it's rotten. It always happens. But so I need to just be a little bit better about that. But I tried to go vegan earlier, at the beginning of last year, and you may or may not know this, and they may or may not know this, but apparently I'm allergic to like everything vegan, like the top, like coconut oil, garbanzo beans, certain like these nuts that are like pistachios and something else that's like in all of the vegan kind of substitutes.
The pea, right?
Yeah, and the pea, chickpeas, and I'm just like, fuck, dude. So, and it was then that I really just leaned into more meats, which is primarily chicken. I think I might have gout, which is some kind of weird foot disorder, which I think that might be what's wrong with my Achilles. That was presented to me as a potential reason, because there's no like noticeable indication that there's something wrong. It does flare up from time to time, and then it goes away. Sometimes I can run, but anyways, I don't. But apparently that's like from eating too much meat, so you gotta be careful.
Huh, that is interesting. I mean, I was vegan for 2 years, as you know, but I never thought I would say it, when you're in the vegan lifestyle. But once I started eating meat again, like I genuinely have had more energy than I've ever had. And like I said, I've been hitting the strength gains week after week. And I think part of that too is eating more. So I eat a cup of rice with my veggies and my protein source twice a day. And then like the other 2 meals aren't just meat per se. Like one of my meals is just 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's the protein shake. So I think just being in a calorie surplus is good. But if you're having any issues, with food like you're talking about, if you just have an inkling, like, oh my God, it might be correlated to my meat consumption, obviously modify that so you don't cause yourself
Yeah.
turmoil. So I would get it checked out, or maybe just try
I should
the
probably get it
bison
checked out.
thing, you know. I don't know, like,
Ooh, yeah.
bison, or is it just the chicken mainly?
No, I mainly do chicken, and I think it's more though I feel it more when I'm like on a red meat steak kind of a thing.
Okay.
So I should probably look into it more. I'm just doing some bro science here. I know this guy that lived with us when I was a kid had it, and he was like limping around, but he was like on his toes. So I didn't know it could be on your Achilles, but one of my medical friends said, he was like, yeah, I think it could be gout. And so I thought it was torn. So I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. So I was, like, curious about your diet. So you said 1 cup of rice and then your vegetables and a protein source. What is the vegetables and protein source typically?
Okay. So I guess I'll go over the full thing. I don't want it to be like too vague. But again, this is how I'm feeling. Like, it's not to the T, you know. It's not like the whole equation's thrown off if I miss something. But I am. What's different is that I'm eating a full meal in the morning, and where normally over the past, I'd say 5 years of my life, I might just eat like a banana or an avocado in the morning.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
me too. That's what I do.
I'm eating so much in one sitting later on, which is, again, like, no problem. But I want to break it down. So
Yeah,
I'm normally doing a whole grain muffin, Dave's Killer whole grain muffin. It's on my vision board with some peanut butter, 3 eggs, and I am trying to add oatmeal on the side, but for right now, it's just that simple muffin,
Okay.
3 eggs, peanut butter, honey, and then I might have a protein bar a little later, and then my workout happens. Yay, I finished my workout. I go home and I make a badass smoothie. I use Blessed Protein. It's a plant-based protein. They have awesome flavors. I'm using chocolate coconut. So I'll throw that in with unsweetened almond milk. I usually do about 24 ounces of unsweetened almond milk with 1.5 scoops of the protein. Then I'll add in about 5 ounces of frozen bananas, a little bit of blueberries, a little bit of peanut butter, and blend all that up. And it's just so delicious, bro. It goes down easy. I feel nourished for at least the next 2 hours. And then I'll eat again. So it's a cup of rice. I'll have, 4 to 5 ounces of a green. It doesn't have to be anything specific. BZ says that the broccoli bloats him, but it doesn't do it to me. So I've done broccoli on the side, and then I'll do like my bison. I'll do like 6-7 ounces of bison or ground turkey breast. So that meal happens. And then a few hours goes by, or 2 hours goes by. I eat the 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, the rice, veggies, and a protein source. And then if I'm really feeling hungry, I might eat something light, like another protein bar in the evening. That's about it, man. It's not too complicated,
I'll have to show you how to make these chicken breasts. Stacy showed me how to make them real good.
Oh, nice.
And then what's the other thing is, like, I drink Synth X, Synth 6, whatever protein. It tastes really good. I fucking love it. But what I was doing back in the day, and I'd almost drink it just because it tastes so good, is I would mix it with some sort of almond milk or soy milk or whatever. Yes. And I know, and it tastes good and it's great. But what I was getting fat, and one thing I noticed was I just changed it to just water. I just mixed it with water, and it tastes just as good, or like almost just as good. So that's,
I love when it tricks you. You're like, oh, I just had a badass milkshake, or
yeah,
like same,
but it's
same
water.
Kind of like things fire off in your brain. I love that.
Yeah. So those are my 2 little, I could like, were improvements to what you were suggesting. You said ground chicken, and that sounds like a single.
Oh, it's a ground turkey breast, but I do chicken too. I might just get, like, sometimes I'll just do a rotisserie chicken, and that would provide me, like, with enough protein, for like 2 days worth.
How do they sell those things for $6?
I don't know, man. Like, it is honestly really convenient because could buy like the shredded chicken pre-made, but it'll probably be a little more expensive. But I don't mind eating it nice and hot. You know, it's
Yeah.
in my opinion than just having the refrigerated stuff. But I guess I just wanted to touch base really quick. So I presented like kind of my breakdown for the meal plan, and what I've noticed is it's so much better because in the past I would eat nothing. I would just fast until like 1 or 2, or just eat the banana early in the morning. But then I just would eat way too much, dude, later on.
Yes.
So it's like, well, I might have gotten a whole bunch of calories, but I would still technically be like in a deficit. So I'm not gaining the muscle. You know what I mean?
No. So, but by spreading it out throughout the day,
yeah, like
your body's able to process it.
Meal, basically, yes.
Okay.
Gains, baby. All the gains, baby.
And so, you know, like one of the negatives supposedly of eating breakfast is that you're like, you lose some kind of mental or energy, something, you know. Do you feel like it's not really fucking with you because you're working out so much anyways and you're just burning it all?
I don't think it's fucking with me because at least 2 of the 5 cardio sessions are fasted cardio. So like I'm just basically rolling out of bed, stretching a little bit, getting some water or a coffee, and heading to the gym to walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. So that gets my brain lit, man. And I'm actually hungry. Like I have authentic hunger, so it doesn't just get all fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It doesn't get all foggy. You're gonna cut that out. Thank God for editing. But I don't get the brain fog, and a big part of it too is like Matt has been really good about reinforcing the nootropics. My pre-workout does have L-theanine in it, which is
I have that
for optimal brain function. And I love what you said earlier about just simply be optimal. Like that, do that, like follow that path, and you're gonna be better than just average. You know,
I mean, just doing the things you know you should be doing. At least, you know, I mean, you know, eating clean is better than eating dirty, and you know, drinking water is better than drinking soda, and you know, get your greens and fucking, you know, meditate, breathe, motherfucker, like Wim Hof says. And I can't believe, well, you know, I was like kicking myself. I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? You know, like, because I feel like a new man in a lot of respects since I started doing Wim Hof. I mean, because even just a few, like, I guess last year or whatever, we wouldn't have weekly meetings there because I would be so inconsistent with my energy and mental state because I wasn't sleeping well, and like I was all just off kilter.
No mental bandwidth.
Yeah, because I was always tired, and I'd just be like, I can't, you know, we go months without meetings and shit. Now we're doing it, you know, every week, and so I'm just really grateful for that guy.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. I really appreciate you having me on the podcast today.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to just say, you know, what do you got coming up in the future? Where can we find you? And
so some really, really exciting news is that my music project is going to be dropped. I really want to say this next weekend it's going to be dropped. 7 songs me and Matt Zian collaborated on. I don't even want to go over the name of it or anything, but just be on the lookout for that. Personal training at Crunch Fitness, Marbach and 410. I'll be doing that very soon, probably starting Monday. Just waiting on my social security card in the mail. Freaking Matrix problems, right?
Right.
And then also, like I had mentioned, at Your Fitness 365, we'll be doing that Monday and Wednesday, 9 to 9:30 a.m. yoga live stream. So thank you, Bobby. You're an inspiration, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Steven. You're a positive light into the world. I hope you have a great day. Keep up positive vibes and spreading it to others. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on another episode of the Robert Patton Global Podcast. Make sure to follow us on YouTube. That's a huge deal. Trying to get those numbers up to 1,000, 1,000 followers. And if we do, we're going to give away $1,000. So to one of the followers. So just be one of those 1,000 people, and you might get $1,000. Not horrible odds. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.